Good morning, everyone. Let's see if you can complete this sentence. It's a 1989 song, Soul to Soul, and I think it kind of captures where we are in the second week of Advent. Back to life, back to... Oh, there were some of you out there that got it. Back to life, back to reality. All right, back to life, back to reality. Before we kind of get into that, we want to just remember that we're framing our experience of Advent. So last week we looked at, do you hear what I hear? So this whole experience of Advent, we're going to celebrate Christmas again. Whoopity-doo. All right. Well, maybe that's kind of the way that we're looking at it, or it's just another nostalgia experience, or it's a nice tradition, the different types of things that we have in our house. Or is it going to be a celebration anew of the realization that God pursued you and me with a personal, passionate, unrelenting love? Are we going deeper in our relationship with God this time at Christmas? That we understand that He came to us. He took flesh. We celebrate that incarnation. Is it something that we really are going deeper, or is it just one more thing to do throughout the year? Well, that'll depend on, are we listening to Him in a better way? So do you hear what I hear? That is to say, God speaking to you and to me. He does. So if we're leaning in this experience in these 4 weeks of Advent, then we're really participating in the invitation of God through His church. So back to life, back to reality. Again, these first 2 weeks in Advent, we're looking at the experience of God coming again, His second coming, being ready. This week we had a reconciliation and penance service. We had the sisters from Toronto. They came, they did a beautiful reflection on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Wednesday it ended with the sacrament of reconciliation and penance. A great way to do that, to lean in and to really to hearing God's voice. Before we kind of unfold this experience of back to life, back to reality, we do have a few of our 7th graders, and I'd like to step through our mission statement and our theme for the year with them. And then before we do that, then it's important to understand from where our mission statement comes from. So first of all, a mission, what do we say? So a mission is a map. Okay, a mission is a map. They're kind of quiet. Mission is a map. Okay, yes, we're going to have to be a little bit louder so that everybody can hear. So a mission is a map. Okay, it helps us to know where we're going and also how to get there. All right, from where does our mission come? Is it just something that I kind of created out of thin air? So just one of you raise your hand and tell me very clearly, from where did our mission come? Yes, Bella? The gospel, correct? So nice and loud so that everybody, if I kind of would go out there and I'd ask different people, what's the gospel? All right, hopefully we'd come up with something that you have a very clear understanding of. So what is the gospel?
God revealing Himself to us.
So God is revealing Himself to us profoundly in the incarnation, and then unfolds to a point where He gives Himself completely to us in the new covenant. Okay? All right, so what is the gospel, though? God revealing Himself to us, what does that mean? What does that mean?
God showing us how to love.
What?
God showing us how to love.
Okay, God showing us how to love. Very important for us to have that understanding of what is the good news. Okay, after all, you're the primary preachers. I do it here. And I preach and stir us, and you go out to the places of the jobs and the schools and your homes, and there you preach. Not so much here, but kind of with our lives, but sometimes with our understanding, with our words. If you can unfold that. Well, what is the gospel? The gospel is God revealing himself to us. You want to know what it is to live life, to love? Then look at the life of Jesus Christ, for he shows us how to love. All right, so that's the foundation of our gospel. So let's step through our mission, nice and loud. Our three musketeers here this morning. Okay, we are.
Saint Joseph the Worker.
Okay, we are working with Christ for his kingdom. The W stands for.
Worship of God in the New Covenant.
Okay, the O stands for.
Outstanding academics.
The R stands for.
Reverence for God.
The K stands for.
Kindness towards all.
The E stands for.
Encouragement, example, esteem for ourselves and others.
The R stands for.
Rigor in learning, right judgment, and wisdom and charity.
Okay, so let's give them a big hand for getting that at 7:30 in the morning. Okay, not too much. Their heads will get big. All right. So, but the point is that whether it's in 7th grade, and it is kind of fun to see, because there's the kindergartners know this. They can say the whole thing, including rigor in learning, right judgment, and wisdom and charity. Now, they don't understand that fully, but see, there's the difference between education and indoctrination. Okay, indoctrination says this is how it is, and just don't ask any questions. Where education is taking something precious, something substantial, something life-giving, and you give it to them, and they hold on to it. They don't fully understand it yet, but they get to ask any question that they want. And in their life then, they come to understand it at their age appropriateness. And so, you have the kindergartners who can explain the mission, but you have the 8th graders, the 7th graders who are now really are ingesting it. They don't want to say it though, okay? Right judgment and wisdom and charity. Okay, but that's all right, where the 5th graders are shouting it out. All right, but that's okay, a little bit of an ebb and flow in where we are in our education. They know it though. They know it, and they're grasping it, and they're applying it. All right, so we have a theme each year too, so now you don't have to pretend to be enthusiastic, but I just want to make sure that they all know the theme. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this year God is calling you to leap forward. Okay, so we're leaping forward into what?
God's great adventure.
God's great adventure. And is God's great adventure all about being the most popular? No, it is not. You know what? A lot of times, making the decisions that you know are right are not going to be popular decisions. Okay, so if it's not about being the most popular, is it all about making the most money? No, it's not. Is there anything wrong with making money? No, there's nothing wrong. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil, says the scriptures. Not money itself. Okay, so but the great adventure isn't all about making money. All right, is it about winning at all costs? No. Okay, I'm not saying that we're not looking to win. St. Paul, by the way, says run so as to win. He says run so as to win. Give everything towards winning, but we don't compromise ourselves in order to win. We're not cheating or doing other types of things. We win with character. Okay? So if it isn't about all of these things, then what's it all about? Sharing. It's about sharing. And when we share what we have, then God will change the world. So we have, these are our themes, our mission, and it's helpful for our young people to continue. And I thank you for being here so early in the morning and also leading us in our liturgy. I think you read very well, and I think you'll continue to do that in the intercessions. So, but we thank you for this mission and for our theme. I think it fits well. We'll talk about a few things that will help us to see this back to life, back to reality. We see in the first reading, a shoot shall sprout from the stump of Jesse. This is a great symbol, and I hope that you think about this throughout this week. A shoot shall sprout from the stump of Jesse. Have you ever seen an old dead stump? And then all of a sudden, out from it is this shoot. And sometimes, because of the root system that's already established there, that shoot can really sprout and sprout quickly. And a whole new tree can grow. It's a moment where we can think about those things. And what is the scripture really talking about there? It's talking about the Davidic covenant. Okay, a covenant is not an exchange of. Okay, so a contract is an exchange of services, they says. Yes, very quietly. All right. So a covenant is a total gift of. Yes, we're giving ourselves completely. So this is the new covenant. But it's consistent with the old covenant of the Davidic covenant. And God promised that the Davidic covenant would see its ancestor fulfill this relationship with God. But yet, there was Solomon, and then Solomon. It's seemingly the Davidic covenant ended. Okay, that tree was chopped down. There's just a stump. But it says here that from the stump of Jesse, the Davidic covenant, there will be a sprout. Okay, a shoot that will sprout from the stump of Jesse. So that's our interpretation, our literal interpretation, that Christ will come, he will be that shoot. Now, for us in the practical way, especially in Advent, what are the stumps within our hearts? What are the things that are there that, well, we have different things that we kind of look at that help us. So, and I'll have a few of these. This one is a real big one. So anybody remember that? So you've got handcuffs and you've got keys. So anybody? No? Don't remember today? That's okay. All right. Pope John Paul II. All right. The handcuffs of hate and the keys of forgiveness. So think about this within your heart. The stump that used to be a tree, a substantial relationship, and now it has been cut down. Who have you not forgiven? Okay. I can see kind of a movement out there, so we kind of end up teaming around. We all have people that we struggle with in forgiving. The reality is that when we are handcuffed, or I say when we don't forgive somebody, we handcuff ourselves. So I've said this to you before, but it is a fundamental in our spiritual life. You want a shoot to sprout from that stump in our heart. We gotta forgive. And it doesn't mean that we have to just kind of say, I have to forgive, I forgive. It's really looking at that particular person, just one, and having a conversation with the Lord. Lord, I need to forgive this person. Help me. Again, do you hear what I hear? It comes back to that. And we're coming back to that life in our heart of now I'm beginning to forgive. And that's going to transform my experience of celebrating Christmas anew. All right, how about this one? This emojis, all right? So anybody remember the emojis? So early in the morning, you got this one? Saint Zita, all right? So we've got an angry emoji and a sweet one. So what are we talking about there? Do you remember? Hey, go ahead. Meekness. So what is meekness? Is meekness like, oh, I'm just going to stand here and take it. I'm a doormat Christian. All right? Is that meekness? No. What is meekness? Slow to anger. How many of us would like to be slow to anger? So yes, how many of us can anticipate an experience where we're going to need to be slow to anger during the Christmas holidays? Yes, all right. I can guarantee you that you're going to be in the line either at Walmart or Kroger or Shop and Save or whatever, and you're going to be in that lane that says 10 items or less. And that person is going to have 15 to 20 items. You are going to be there, and I can see all of you are like, well, yes, and I want to kill that person. All right, well, in that moment, okay, Lord, help me to be meek. Help me to be slow to anger. In that moment, instead, now you start to look at the person. You see that he or she obviously looks tired. You can see the items that they are buying are for young children. And now you're starting to think, how many hours of sleep did this person get? What's going on in their life? Do they have somebody there that can help them? Maybe I should pray for this person. And a shoot shall sprout from the stump of Jesse in our hearts. See, these are the types of things that are going to transform our experience of Christmas. It's an invitation to come back to life, to come back to the reality that God has placed in our heart to give. So the invitation is there. Or are we willing to do that? Are we willing to lean in and to listen? Are we willing to come back to that life that He has in our heart?